A whale explodes out of the ocean and almost swallows 2 kayakers whole. Hikers sprint down a volcano's death trail as ash and debris rain from the sky, and a moose finds herself under attack from a charging bear and a wolf at the same time. These are 10 scary nature moments caught on camera that don't feel real. 2020, 2 women kayaking off the coast of Avila Beach, California got way more than they were bargaining for on a whale watching trip. Julie McSorley and Liz Cottrell were out in the water watching humpback whales when one came directly underneath them and flipped their kayak. "I saw the big pool of fish, the big bait ball, come up out of the water," McSorley said. "I saw the whale come up, I thought, oh no, it's too close. All of a sudden, I lifted up and I was in the water." Cottrell's account is even crazier, saying, quote, "The whale was right here in my face, literally. I'm thinking to myself, I'm gonna push a whale out of the way. It was the weirdest thought. I'm thinking, I'm dead. I thought it was gonna land on me. Next thing I know, I'm underwater." There's also this piece of footage from a nearby witness, and here it really looks like they just got swallowed by this whale, but they just capsized. Both of them came back up completely fine. The whale wasn't hunting them. Humpbacks feed on small fish. It just happened to surf right under them. So wrong place, wrong time, but a crazy story and crazier footage. Summer's officially here. Who's looking forward to a pleasant bike ride down a scenic forest trail? You may not want to after seeing this. The video was originally uploaded to YouTube in 2014 by user Mr. Gregor, who wrote in the description, "The video I made while cycling through the woods with my GoPro video camera turned on. I filmed how a huge bear tried to attack me, but fear made me pedal much faster than usual. Luckily, I was able to get away from the grizzly, and hunters helped to scare the bear away with their shots." Now imagine being on a hike and then suddenly having to run for your life from an erupting volcano. Not something I've ever really worried about since I was like 6. Volcanoes and lava really are in the collective consciousness. When you're in elementary school though, you learn about Pompeii. If you're lazy, you make the classic baking soda volcano for your science fair project. Play the ground as lava. Everything that's hot is consistently compared to lava. What would happen if you swallowed lava? Imagine having a water gun that shoots lava. Point is, the idea of being engulfed by lava is a pretty scary thought for a first grader, but then you get older, you realize it's really the least of your worries, and lava gets buried in some dusty filing cabinet in the back of your subconscious brain unless, you happen to find yourself climbing an active volcano. Just this past April, a group of hikers in Guatemala got a terrifying reminder of why you don't do that. The footage shows this group sprinting down the side of the Santiaguito volcano after it erupted, running through massive clouds of ash while debris rains down around them. The trail they were fleeing down is literally called El Paso de la Muerte, the Death Trail. The man who filmed it, Carlos Enrique Porres Rodez, described the volcano as one of the most dangerous active volcanoes in Latin America, and said that it's actually restricted. "There are always daredevils who expose themselves to reach the Colossus," he said. "The thing is, this volcano erupts daily. This was not an unexpected freak event." In 2024, wildlife biologist Ian Bartosek of the Conservancy of Southwest Florida caught something on camera that most people would assume was CGI. While tracking pythons in the Everglades, he filmed a 14.8-foot, 115-pound female Burmese python in the middle of swallowing a 77-pound deer whole. Felt like we were literally catching a serial killer in the act. It was intense to observe in real time, he said. The deer weighed nearly 67% of the snake's own body mass, and according to a study Bartosek co-authored, this python was pushing right up against the limits of what its jaws could physically handle, stretched over 10 inches wide, the largest gape ever recorded in a Burmese python, beating the previous record of 8.6 inches. Co-author Bruce Jane also said, "These snakes resemble overachievers by sometimes testing the limits of what their anatomy allows, rather than being slackers that eat only snack-sized prey," end quote. Bartosek called it the most intense and impressive sight he'd ever observed in his 12 years tracking pythons in southwestern Florida. Nature can be cruel. Definitely was on this day for these poor moose. They were attacked by a wolf and a bear at the same time. The camera trap in Glacier Bay National Park in Alaska caught this back in 2023. As this moose and her calf are walking through the frame, 2 pairs of eyes suddenly come rushing out of the darkness. One belongs to a brown bear, one belongs to a wolf. The adult moose charges at the bear, and the bear leaps up and grabs her. Meanwhile, the wolf bolts after the calf, which takes off out of frame. The whole thing lasts just a few seconds. Now, the bear and the wolf probably weren't coordinating, as awesome as that would be, but conservationist Rick Steiner, who's worked in Alaska for decades, did say they were definitely aware of each other. The bear was certainly aware of the wolf was certainly aware of the bear, he said. His read is that the wolf was probably shadowing the bear, waiting for an opportunity. When the moose charged at the bear and left the calf unprotected, the wolf took its opportunity to pounce. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, depending on how you stomach footage like this, the video cuts out before we see how either fight ends, but Steiner thinks the adult moose, which can stand around 6 feet tall and deliver a pretty serious kick, probably had the advantage, especially since the bear appeared to be a juvenile. I'd put my money on the moose in that one. An adult moose is a formidable adversary for anything, Steiner said. I wonder who he'd put his money on in this next bout between 3 lions and 1 rhino. Where would you land on this? Just 1 lion? I'm definitely going for the rhino, but 3? I don't know. Safari guide Jordan Davidson has seen a lot out in the bush, but even he wasn't ready for this one. 3 young lions, 2 females and a male, all around 5 years old, were doing what lions do in the middle of the day. Absolutely nothing, just lounging around. Then a rhino wandered in looking for grass to graze on. Well, even with 3 of them, the lions were not about to try anything. A fully grown white rhino is just a beast. Lions probably aren't going to mess with one unless they absolutely have to. Well, then the rhino, which doesn't have great eyesight, started following the lion's scent and walked straight toward them. It got close enough to spook one of the lionesses into bolting. The second one, though, saw an opening while the rhino was distracted chasing her off, crouched down, waited, and then pounced, latched onto the rhino's backside, but let go almost immediately. The rhino spun around furious, and now the only one left standing in front of him was the male. Rather than run, he walked straight up to meet it. The rhino jabbed at him with its horn twice. It missed both times, but only by a hair, and that was still way too close for comfort. The lion took off. Is this a wolf or a werewolf? This incredible footage was captured at Yellowstone National Park. A massive wolf trudges onto the road. I mean, imagine having to be an animal living in constant fear of a beast like this hunting you. I mean, I'm just glad we're at the top of the food chain. Not only is this wolf big, it just looks menacing. This is like a horror movie wolf, or like one of the dire wolves from Game of Thrones. Not something I'd ever want to encounter on a dark road at night, or anywhere for that matter. Okay, someone captured a living Titanoboa on camera. Look at this thing. Of course, it's not actually a Titanoboa, it's just a massive python, an African rock python to be exact. This one was spotted by a man named Jason Moolman on a farm in South Africa. The first thing you notice, aside from how huge it is how quickly it moves. These snakes can reach lengths of up to 13 feet, or around 4 meters, so they're some of the longest snakes on the continent. They're capable of taking down prey way bigger than you'd expect. Antelope, warthogs, occasionally even crocodiles. On top of that, they're surprisingly hard to find in the wild because they'll hole up just about anywhere. Caves, burrows, abandoned termite mounds. And they're not just ground dwellers, these things are also strong climbers, and they'll post up in trees and wait for something to walk underneath them. Imagine sitting under a tree and having this thing drop on you. Next up, check out this massive elephant seal attacking a car. These guys can grow up to 13 feet long and tip the scales at 4,500 pounds, and this one, named Homer, is using every bit of that size to absolutely bully this car. Look at how much the thing rocks as it headbutts it. It's a good reminder of just how outmatched we feeble humans really are compared to a good chunk of the animal kingdom. If our brains didn't evolve the way they did, our ancestors would have died off a long time ago. Look at the size of this crocodile. This is footage of a massive croc being removed from an illegal enclosure after mauling a woman to death. DC20 ran a laboratory at a pearl farm on the Indonesian island of Sulawesi. The farm also housed an illegal pet, this 14-foot, 1,500-pound crocodile named Mary. On January 10th, 2019, DZ went out to feed Mary in its enclosure. She either fell in or was dragged in. She was found the next morning. Mary had eaten one of DZ's hands and most of her abdomen. The crocodile was sedated in a 3-hour operation. Again, Mary was being kept illegally. Officials had tried a number of times to take her away, but couldn't get past the locked fences. Plus, look at how difficult it was to get her out of there. It's not like repossessing a car. Indonesia has several species of crocodiles, and it's the country with the highest number of attacks. That has been the video for today, and I'll catch you, yes, you specifically, in the next one.